Hello, children. Welcome back to the class. So, today we are going to learn an interesting story. So, if I say it's all about your best friends, yes. So, I hope most of you are missing your friends, right, children? Because you're not studying together, right? So, hopefully, very soon we'll meet. We all will meet very soon, okay? So, you're in the page number 67. You have certain questions like, is a damn easy question, I know that. You just have to fill it up, okay? So the first question is, how many friends do you have? And who is your best friend? Write at least two or three things that you like most about your best friend. Means, why do you like your best friend? You have to write at least two or three things. What do you like about your best friend the most? Okay. So these three things I hope you will write on your own without taking the help of your parent, right, children? This is coming to the next part, that is, what does true friendship mean to you? Give your opinion by putting a tick mark in the boxes. Means the question is that, I will read the sentence, children. You have to put tick mark that what a best friend, a true friend should have. Okay, that you can, according to you, what a person should have, that you have to put tick mark. Okay, sharing your lunch books, toys, etc. with your friend, helping, it is left to you, children. Okay, you are going to put the tick mark in front of those, what do you call, the sentences, but I will just read it for you. Okay, you just have to put a tick mark in front of these lines. After reading that, they have given a box over there. You just have to put tick mark. So if you feel that if the true friendship should must have these qualities, then you have to put the tick mark over there. Okay, so sharing your best lunch, books, toys, etc. with your friends, helping each others in studies, playing together, listening to each other's problems and finding a solution together, helping each other unconditionally without expecting anything in return, having faith in your friend, loving your friend irrespective of his social status, all the above. So here maybe two three sentences you might have not understood there. For example, I hope the first one was damn easy. Sharing your lunch books, toys, etc. with your friends. Yes, it should be that. Helping each others in studies, you might have understood. Playing together, yes. Listening to each other's problem and finding a solution together. So I hope most of you might have understood or may not. Okay, here, like sometimes na, your friend will be in a trouble and you will try to help your friend, and it's a vice versa. If you are in a trouble, then your friend will help. That should be there or not. Then helping each other unconditionally without expecting anything in return. Means expecting in the sense, if you do anything, what do you call it, you should not ask anything for that. Like, you should not expect anything from them. Or sometimes we do tell the children, on the day I helped you and today you have to do this. No, nothing. Like, when you're helping someone, do it with full of heart. Never expect anything from that person, right? So that is what here it is. And then having faith in your friend. Faith in the sense, trust on your friend. Okay, you believe, you should, you are do you belief should be there or not. Then loving your friend irrespective of his social status, and this is maybe like he is poor, rich, whatsoever. Okay, or he belongs to a very royal family. So some means we should not choose a friend depending upon the social status. Okay, so that is what they are saying. That, so I hope all the above is the correct answer for you all. So check out. Okay, so obviously the true friendship should have these qualities, right? Children, I will read the story for you in the page number 68. Krishna and Sudama. So every one of you know this god Krishna, right? And maybe most of you might have heard many stories about his, right, children? Yes, it's like a very lovely story. And we all know that Krishna's best friend is Sudama. They were really a dead heart friend, like they were very close friends to each other. But the thing is that Krishna was the king of Dwarka, whereas Sudama was a poor man, right? Though the status was of such a big difference, but still they were best friends. Okay, let us just see what the story is all about. So here, children, before that, let us just see what is this. Yeah, you might have see, maybe when I ask you what is this, I may get the answer as hut, maybe of monastir. Okay, Okay, children, let me make you clear. Yes, of course, it is a hurt. But now, children, if a teacher and a student, okay, if you want to learn and if the teacher wants to teach, it is nothing that you have to go to teacher's house and all, right? You have a place called as school, a building, right? Where you sit together of your same age and learn together, right? So, but in the olden days, in the ancient days, we called it as Gurukul. Gurukul. Gurukul means here the boys, they used to go to here. What is Rishi Munis, what we call saints? Okay, they used to be here, and the boys they used to come here and stay with them until they grow, right? And here they will learn everything, like not only studies children. Apart from that, even they used to learn how to cook, how to keep the house clean, and they used to serve Guruji in the sense here the master, okay, the teacher, okay. And there was a single teacher itself, and they used to call Guruji's wife as Mata, okay, we can say, right? So and Guruji's wife, they used to call them as Mata. And the children, they used to study also, as well as they used to do all kinds of work. They used to go to forest and get the wood, I hope you know what is a wood. Okay, to cook food and all, you need wood, right? So and even they used to cook food, and they used to clean the what you call floor and all. And apart from that, they used to learn many other what you call creative things and all. These all things they used to learn there, but staying there with them, not going back to home, right? They used to stay with Guru until he learns, he becomes something learned man. Then only he is set free back, be sent back to his what you call parents. Okay, that is what Gurukul is all about. Okay, so let us see still some more. See, here we have the story of Krishna and Sudhama. A very Krishna, he is Krishna, and I hope it's clean. Okay, he is Sudhama, and they are really very best friends, I can say, like a close friends. Okay, so here children, we can see that, and we have many other stories about Krishna, but this story is quite much interesting. So before that, let us just have a look into these words. So already I told you what is Gurukul, right? A Gurukul is a type of education system in ancient India, right? So Gurukul is a type of education system in ancient means in olden days, we can say. Okay, olden days we can say, what do you call ancient, in the sense ancient means olden days. Okay, now coming to this word noble. Noble means honorable, right? Who is very what do you call a trustworthy person, right? Starve, starve, starve means to go without food, to be very hungry. You better student, you might have seen that the poor people, they will not get food every day, right? They starve. Okay, they just drink a water, glass of water, and they go to sleep at night. The starving means to go without food, having not eaten the food for many days. Okay, it's called as starving. Then comes plenty, in abundance. ABUNDANCE, abundance. In plenty means more, many, we can say. Reminded means to bring to a person's notice. To bring to a person's notice means you keep on reminding. If someone has forgotten something, you keep on reminding the person, right? Remind means someone, to make them what do you call reminding something if they have forgotten. Then offering means contribute something. If you go to temple and all, you offer. Okay, you offer something, right? It can be in a form of prasada or money, or in any which way. Okay, offering means a contribution. Then recognize means to identify. So for example, if for example, if one of your friend has left the school and he has joined some other school, okay, after many years, when he come back, obviously he might have grown up, right? Then you recognize him, right? It is called a recognize, means to identify someone. Courage, I hope everyone knows, to be brave, bold, right? Okay, this word, you see, sumptuous, sumptuous. Sumptuous means splendid, rich food, we can say, right? Sumptuous food. Snatch means to grab, children. Immediately someone is holding anything in the hand, you just snatch it. Okay, then comes shabby means very dirty clothes. Tattered means torn clothes. Then sore means like painful, having something, what you call a pain in the leg and all, when you're walking without the slipper and all. You are obviously, you are that leg part will become sore. Okay, it is called as sore. So these words will come in your lessons. So here it is a story of Krishna and Sudama, and it's a marriage of Sudama. He marries to a noble lady. Okay, just I will read it for you. Along with that, I'll show the pictures also. Okay, so here Krishna and Sudama. Krishna and Sudama were best of friends during their days at Gurukul. Okay, so they became friends when they were studying together. When they were in the Gurukul, from there itself they were the best friends. Okay, when they grew up, Krishna became the king of Dwarka, while Sudama remained poor. He married a noble lady, right? Noble but poor lady. She was a very trustworthy person, but she was also poor. She was also poor lady. Okay, he married a noble lady, uh, and they had many children. Okay, so they had many after marriage and all. They had many children too, right? But often there was no food at home and the family has had to starve. I said to children, starve means go means we're having without having food for many days. Okay, so there are many children and they were poor also, and they he could not off what you call bring so much of food to the home, money and all, so that they can he can fill his children's food. Okay, so this was happening, and starving family had to starve. Sudama's wife all often reminded him to of Krishna. So every time whenever they used to sit together, she used to remind him, "Oh, don't you go, if you go and speak to Krishna, he may help you because he is your best friend." Because obviously, right, children, he is a king, right? So always his wife used to what do you call remind him, Krishna is now a great king and has plenty of money. He will surely be happy to help you. Why don't you go to him? Always the wife used to say this verse to who Sudama. Then, in the beginning, Sudama was unwilling. He was not willing to go actually. Unwilling means he did not want to go because it doesn't look good, right? Being a best friend and asking for money and all, it doesn't look good. So he was, means he said, no, I don't want to talk about the money in front of Krishna and all because he's my best friend. But hard times continued and he had to agree. But this, what you call situation was going worse and worse. So finally he agreed to go to Krishna. Then, obviously, children, when you're going to someone's house, you might have seen, okay, whenever a guest comes to your house, they don't come with a empty hand, okay, they bring something in your hand. But obviously, here Sudama was a poor guy, right? From where he has to take anything? He is not able to fill his own children, what you call children's stomach, right? Then how can he take something to Krishna? So let us see what here his wife gives. Before leaving, Sudama said to his wife, I am going to meet a friend. How can I go empty handed? I should take some offering for him. She gave him a little puffed rice in the small bundle. Puffed rice, children, means aulaki, poha, what you say. Okay, it is called as a puffed rice. Okay, so she gave, we can see in the picture, okay, it was the puffed rice in the small bundle. That was they all could afford. Afford means that was the only thing at home which they could give. Okay, so after walking for many days, he has to obviously, right, he can't go in any other vehicle and all. So he has to walk on his sore means barefoot. Bare means he was not having even something to wear on his slipper, right? So after walking for many days, Sudama reached Dwaraka. He looked shabby in his dirty and tattered clothes. So it was dirty and it was torn also, right? Then he was tired and his feet were sore because he has walked so long, children, right? His leg, obviously, right? He had pain. As he stood outside Krishna's grand palace. So it was, it's a grand palace. Aramane, what we say, okay? So he stood outside the grand palace. And obviously, children, whenever you go to a grand palace, there will be guards, right? And he wondered whether Krishna would even recognize him. Means even he thought that whether Krishna will recognize him or not. Recognize means he will identify him or not. At one point of time, he even decided to turn back. So in the middle, even he thought, okay, no, I don't want to meet him. Let me go back to home. So at one point means somewhere he felt like that. Okay, no, I will not meet him because don't know whether he will recognize me or not. So he thought to go back, but the thought of his starving children, then he thought about his children, right? They were all starving. So that thought made him to just put his foot forward. gave him courage, and he sent a message to Krishna. Then from outside, he just told who the guards, telling that just inform Krishna that his friend Sudama has come. Then he sent a message to Krishna. Krishna immediately came out. So he was just waiting for him outside the gate. And when Krishna heard that Sudama had come outside, he was not able to stop himself, children. Krishna immediately came out. Right? See, he came running to meet him and hugged, what do you call? He hugged him. Right? It's called as hugging. Okay, Sudama lovingly and took him inside the palace. Krishna's wife Rukmini also welcomed him warmly. Even she also welcomed him warmly. Even she did not show any, what do you call, the proudness and all, right? Even she also welcomed him with a great gracefully. And obviously, children, it's like Atiti Devo Bhava. Okay, so together they washed his feet, made him sit on the throne. It is called as a throne, children. Okay, we call it a simhasana, right? Right, where the king sits. It is called as a throne. Throne, throne. And made him sit on the throne and served him the sumptuous meal, a rich meal, we can say, right? Sumptuous means like maybe he might have not even eaten such a food, right? Okay, so it is called as a sumptuous meal. Sudama felt ashamed of the puffed rice. So when he ate, actually he had brought that puffed rice to give it to Krishna, right? He was feeling ashamed because he has so many, and this puffed rice is nothing to Krishna, right? He was feeling ashamed to show to him. So he was feeling so ashamed to put it in front of Krishna. But Krishna saw the bundle. He saw the bundle which where this poha was kept, and he snatched he snatched it and he started eating because Krishna loved puffed rice. Okay, so but Krishna saw the bundle, snatched it from Sudama and ate the rice with a great relish, with a great taste. He felt it like eating, and he started eating that poha, what you call. Okay, then Sudama stayed with Krishna for a long time. They talked, they just remembered everything what they all did in their childhood and all. They just had a long talk, but he did not utter why he has come there. Children, why he came there, children, actually? To ask of some help, for some help, for some money, right? But he did not utter anything. He was just, means they were just, he did not forget, but he felt ashamed to ask his friend. And they just spoke up nicely, and what do you call? So Dhamma stayed with them, with Krishna, and for a long time, but not even once did he ask for any help. Finally, he took leave of Krishna and left Dwarka. And finally, he said, "Okay, Krishna, I have to go back now to my house." And he said goodbye. And okay, and when he reached his village, when he came back, he was just moving back to his village. Okay, then he was surprised to see a beautiful house. So you can see that when he left his house, the place, it was a small hut. Okay, so now there was a beautiful house there, and at the sight of his house, and his wife came out to receive him wearing a beautiful clothes and jewelry. She can see that she is his wife, and she's wearing a very good sari, and she's having a jewelry on her clothes, okay, clothes clothes and all jewelry she's wearing, right? Then, so obviously, right, children, it's understood that Krishna has helped unknowingly because he is God, right? We all know that he is God. He understands everything. So always do good. Then obviously you will also see good in the future. How was the story, children? Thank you.